Yeah, well, that's always a fine line. You got to get some work done, but you also want to get him through the spring healthy. So there's periods of practice. We use the catapult system here on our guys, and so what we try and do is there's periods throughout practice where they know they got to give it, go real hard. We know their mile per hour, they know their distance, and maybe the next periods, we crank it down. So we're trying to spike them up, down. You can't just be up for 18 periods, and that's how you wear those kids out. So it's a fine line, and we try and script it accordingly. And I think so far, knock on wood, we've done a pretty good job of keeping them. Naturally, the speeds are going to go down a little bit when you get to practice 13, 14, start to feel the grind a little bit. But for the most part, we're doing pretty well.
Jeff George had a bad drop early in practice Tuesday. How did he bounce back the rest of practice?
Jeff, it's a learning process for him, and he. One thing about wideouts is a really good receiver if they absolutely hate dropping the ball, and so does our receiver coach. So I made sure I let him know, but he's doing well. These are, the good thing is he's out there still. He's 10 practices. He's stayed healthy. He's been able to get out there, and that's why he's able to get better. This is a learning system for a junior college player to come in here and go through our grind. I mean, they didn't play like this. Our style of play is different. The weight room's different, which he's needed. I think he's gained 14 pounds of muscle since he got here in January. So all those things are to make him a better player. So he bounced back fine. He's easy to coach because he takes coaching.
What's been his biggest improvement from practice 1 to now?
His overall physicality, long way to go. Not anywhere near where we need it to be, but in this conference, you've got to be a physical wide receiver. And if you're not, it's going to be a long day for you on Saturday. So those things, you're able to kind of finesse sometimes at lower levels, and you can't do that here. You got to be a physical, tough player, and he's learning that sometimes the hard way, but that's good. That's what it's about.
Anyone? Any junior college receivers that made a quick adjustment?
Jonathan Johnson made a pretty quick adjustment. Very, very smart player. Already pretty physical kid. He was a running back, so he was already kind of used to that pounding and physicality of the game. But probably him right away. I mean, Vaughn struggled for his first spring ball. He had one catch in the first scrimmage and one catch in the second scrimmage. I nicknamed him 11 for summertime, and
appreciate it.
Yeah, he did. But it was subliminal messaging, and he knew he had to work. And sure enough, he had a couple good years. So probably Jonathan Johnson.
What do you like about Jeff Smith in the slot?
Yeah, well, he's got a great skill set. He's big. So he's 210 pounds, and he's really tough. We all know that. He makes the hard catches. He's real quick. He's a lot quicker than people give him credit for. So he can get in and out of his breaks and kind of manage those voided areas in zone coverage. And he can also beat man coverage. And when you're in the slot, a lot of times you're off the ball, and that helps him getting off press coverage. So the great thing about Josh is he knows every position, so we can move him around. And I think his natural position is slot. And hats off to him. Last year, my man came in and made some big-time catches on the outside, probably playing a little bit out of position, and that did nothing but help him be better slot. So I'm pleased with his progress.
How have you seen Preston and Jauan progress? What have you seen from them this spring?
They've gotten better and better, and I'm pleased. I want to see him get better. I told him yesterday in our meeting, I want to see guys on a steady, incline. Yeah, you're going to have a day. Preston, he had a real poor sinus infection the other day. Wasn't breathing well. Came out there in practice and didn't have a great day. It wasn't the ones he's had the first 9 practices. To be expected. But he's out there, he's practicing. That's how you're going to get better. You're going to have a little dip once in a while, but at least if that bar graph's going up a little bit every time, we can't have roller coaster players. And that's you can't win like that. So as long as there's a steady incline, and I think with those two, there's been a steady incline, and that's what I'm pleased with that. We have our moments, have our days, but so does everybody when you go out there and practice. But I'm pleased with them. I like their attitudes. They're getting better, slowly but surely starting to grow up a little bit and mature. And, that's always a process with young kids. But I'm pleased, and they're getting better and better every day.
What do you see from them that they couldn't do a year ago or didn't do a year ago?
Well, there's a list as long. With Preston, it's hard to evaluate Preston because he didn't practice. He got no two-a-days. Game week practices are so much different than spring ball and training camp, right? So he never had to go through a grind. He didn't get to squat or do any leg strength stuff because of his knee injury. So he didn't do a lot of things well. And I think that coupled with just, lack of maturity, understanding what it takes to be an elite player at this level, all those things are kind of, you know, they're improving and getting better now. He's stronger. He's more confident. He's learning the offense. He's maturing and understanding, hey, maybe I need to, you know, do this right or this right off the field, and, you know, eat better, sleep more, all those things. And I think both of them are starting to learn that a little bit more. Not where I want it yet. It's not to that top-notch, big-time college football player yet, but it's slowly improving.
Has anyone kind of emerged as a leader of this group yet, or?
That's a great question. I don't think so. You know, I think Josh is a leader just because he's got some clout and some experience and made some big plays. You know, does everything right for me, that kind of stuff.
Smith or Malone in that regard?
Yeah, Smith. Yeah, but you know, neither one of them are going to be those you know, outgoing alpha dog guys. But Josh plays like that, and so he's got some clout. You know, he's kind of more of a quiet guy that way. And I think, you know, knock on wood, hopefully 7 and 15 later down the road, not right now, can end up being those guys in this group. But they got a lot of growing to do before that happens.
Just in general, I know Malone's hurt, but overall with this group, what gives you confidence that maybe y'all can get more consistency out of the passing game, particularly kind of with the deep ball and stuff like that?
Well, we got to throw it, and we got to throw it, and we got to throw it, and we got to throw it. You know, and you know, the quarterbacks. That it's us and the quarterbacks being on the same page. You know, if we're running right past a guy, you know, that ball's got to be thrown out in front of us on top of our head. And if for the quarterback, we got to be able to beat press coverage all the time. And I think we have guys that can do that now. We just got to get on the same page. And you know, Quentin is different than Josh. You know, they have different skill sets and they throw the ball different. And we got to learn that with these new receivers out there and get on the same page. And I think we are. We've made a point of emphasis on it this spring. We got some big play capabilities out there. I mean, those guys they're as good as you'll find running the deep ball. So we just got to keep throwing and catching it and working on it. And Coach Jones has made a point of emphasis this spring to do it.
You like what you've seen out of Vincent Perry?
I do. You know, Vincent's improved this last 4 or 5 practices. You've seen him come on a little bit. So yeah, I'm pleased with him. I'm pleased with his progress. So he's doing some tough things and you know, he's made some big-time catches, and yeah, I'm pleased with him right now, and hopefully he can keep getting nothing but better.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.